Mr. President, I'm thinking that many of the reports that were written that we got to enjoy in the committee were written by folks far removed from the reality of ranching and farming, far removed from having to make a living raising cattle and sheep, far removed from having to pay your bills with that which you put your heart and soul in every day, far removed from making sure that every calf that is born to a cow survives. I grew up getting up with my dad 3 times a night as we calved out 60 to 80 first-year heifers, driving out in a pickup truck, checking on each one of them to make sure the calves were okay, to make sure that these coyotes were not robbing us of our ability to make the payment on our ranch. To listen to the abstract analysis that we just heard about how easy it is to get along with coyotes, I can assure you is very difficult. And that's why it's clear in the materials that actually address how man and animal get along. They write in the human-wildlife conflict, the real problem is confrontation between humans as how to deal with wildlife. What we're talking about today really does illustrate that, doesn't it? The confrontation between humans on how to manage this problem. The proper way to do this is in the scientific way, not the... A lot of words come to mind about how I could describe what we just heard. Most of them are not consistent with the protocols of this body. I'll simply say, I've been there, I've done that, I know what this takes, and it will not be better by banning the use of a tool to reduce the number of coyotes in Harney and Lake counties. It irks me when I hear scientists from, I can't remember exactly where the scientist was that called in to talk about coyotes to our committee. But I'll tell you this, Oregon State University says that when they did studies on fawns and deer, when they reduced the number of coyotes, they got more fawns and deer. That was a pretty direct result. And they were talking, and that's still the case now. If you look at the materials I handed out yesterday on your desk, you'll see that there's, in the wildlife or the predator management plan, a focus on reducing the numbers of cougars, coyotes, and others to try to protect our wildlife that these hunters so badly want to hunt. I would also suggest there's a huge difference between ranchers trying to protect their crops and hunters. Hunters come out once a year to enjoy the great outdoors. Ranchers and farmers are there all the time trying to protect what they're using to pay their bills. This little contest that resulted in an extraordinarily modest take of coyotes is a tool we use to protect what we raise. If this bill passes, folks in my area are going to once again say, well, there they go again. There they go again. Trying to affect a small group of people in a remote part of the state about which they know nothing. There's a phrase, it's an old joke, but I at least need a moment of levity. Democracy is where you get 2 wolves and a sheep trying to decide what's going to be on the menu. 2 wolves and a sheep trying to decide what's going to be on the menu. Of course, the majority here has the power to decide whether it's going to affect small communities in remote areas of Oregon. I would suggest, folks, that the proper approach was in the minority report. This is a bad bill. It's going to anger a whole bunch of people that are already mad. Please don't pass it. Please vote no.